Do I think the success of Astro Bot is going to push Sony into making more single-player games? No, because that's what they are. These other ones are the write-off. I mean, look, that's what Spider-Man. I had to look just to make sure I wasn't crazy. Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn, Dreams, Uncharted, The Last of Us, God of War. That's what they are. The game they develop, not the game that they publish, but the game they develop. They are a single-player developer. The problem they have is those games are super expensive. So we saw things like, hang on a minute, I'm going to check. There it is. Spider-Man 2 had a budget of $315 million. I don't think that all went to Peter Parker, you know what I'm saying. But, like, that's crazy. Right, and so the single-player games are super expensive. That's what they've done. They've done these really high-end, cinematic, beautiful games, and they are in this trap because the people that they're going after with those expect high-end, beautiful games that are super expensive to make, and no matter how much the tools improve, no matter how much the graphic power can improve, they just want more and more and more and more. So you can't just be like, oh, they should just go make some little tiny indie games and that'll do it. Because their audience that they've been selling to, that they've cultivated, that they've grown, expect these big giant hits. So the past CEO of Sony was like, man, I can see the writing on the wall. These get more and more expensive to make, so the money we make on them is less. This is going to be an arms race to the bottom. We should go do games as a service, because if we have a hit there, the money there is just insane what it is in comparison. And that didn't work. And did that not work because Sony as a whole didn't embrace it? That might be. Did they not understand it, right? Because Bungie was going to come and they bought Bungie, and Bungie was going to teach everybody else games as a service through Sony. And that didn't work. Like, did they not give it enough time? Did they release things too early? I mean, Bungie themselves had a problematic release under Sony, right? And they're supposed to know everything about how to do games as a service, even though I do not like their version of games as a service at all. I've said that before. But people love their games, so I'm allowed to say that. Meaning, they don't click with me. Obviously, they click with other people. But they don't click with me. But right, like, so Bungie was going to come in and save Sony and set them on the path to this giant future of just nothing but games as a service games. And that's clearly before the success of Astro Bot. It clearly laid out that was not the future for Sony. That just wasn't the audience they cultivated, nor was it their wheelhouse. It wasn't their strength. And so now they're just stuck in this weird spot where I guess you just keep doing these and you figure out how to make them cheaper. But so the success of Astro Bot is like, great. First of all, great. And I'm super happy. And I'm super happy it's a good game. And I'm super happy people are enjoying it. And I'm super happy Sony's got a win after a couple of losses. But it doesn't change anything about the studio. They've already decided this a long time ago. Or a couple of years ago when they let the CEO go and replaced him with the Japanese leadership again. So we're just back to what they were. Sony does this every so often. If you ever notice, I went to Europe to go promote CSGO on the PlayStation. CSGO never released on the PlayStation. Sony's a weird company. Oh, excuse me, PlayStation in Europe. Released in the PlayStation Japan and PlayStation America, which are separate companies. But the third company, PlayStation Europe, it did not release on them. Sony. I love so many people there, like deeply care about them. And they're the company that confuses me more than any company in the industry.